welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Enoch. In today's video, we're going to learn how to create a realistic cloth simulation in Blender. What does that mean? It means that we're going to be making one of the mesh behaves like a real cloth. So opening Blender. So here's our Blender. So we are going to select all the objects in this editor and press X to delete. Then we're going to bring in our the first thing we are bringing in is a cube. To bring in a cube, then we just grab and raise it up a little. Then what we'll do, let's go to the edit mode, pressing tab to go to the edit mode. Then what we'll do, we'll just press the left mouse key, then we'll subdivide the objects, the cube, and come down to this setting, subdivide setting, and place it at 12 or 13. Let's use 13. So divided it by 13 cuts, number of cuts 13. So now we're going to press, while we are still on the object, we just pressed Shift Alt S, then we'll just drag it to turn to a sphere. Now it's a sphere. So what we'll do next, we'll go back to the object mode by pressing tab. Then let's just smooth this sphere, shift smooth. Then we'll go back to the object mode. Let's bring in our plane mesh, Let's bring in our plane mesh. So we're bringing in the plane mesh. So we'll scale it a bit up. Then we'll switch to the object mode. Then we'll scale it in the object mode, in the edit mode rather. Scale it in the edit mode. Then we'll grab our plane and move it up. I just want to move it a bit high. Okay. Let's just grab it and push it up a little bit. So now if we let's add the physics property to them. Let's switch back to our object mode, then click on your sphere and we'll go to the physics property, because the moment we apply physics property to them, so both the sphere and this plane, it makes the object behave like real property. For example, for the sphere, we are going to be applying collision, meaning object cannot pass through it. For example, yeah, if I off the collision, if I do not apply the collision for the sphere, if I put in the, okay, let's apply the cloth physics property to the plane. Now if I apply this cloth physics property to the plane, if I apply it, you notice that the plane went through the sphere. So to avoid that, we are to apply collision to the physics property collision to the sphere, so that it resists object from passing through it. So now let's play it again so that you see. Now you can see the plane could not pass through it anymore because we have applied collision to it. Now let's apply now this plane now is not looking like it's not behaving like a cloth. You can see that when it went down just now, it didn't fold, nothing like that. So what will happen is that we are going to subdivide the plane to have more poly or more geometries. To have more geometries, we'll subdivide it to have more geometries. And when it has high, now it's like a low poly geometry. Now when we increase the not look cuts and everything, it becomes high a bit, and then it can start folding. So let's switch to edit mode, and I'll subdivide the plane. Now you can go back to this setting and adjust it to 13, the number of cuts to 13. You can see now we have more number of cuts. Or what we can also do is to just subdivide it more. Select all and just subdivide it. You can see now when we let's switch back to the object mode. Now when we play it, you see it folds like a cloth. You can still low poly. So let's so we're going to subdivide it more. Let's subdivide it more so that it's okay. Now let's play and let's see how it will be. Let's go to the object mode. Let's play. Okay, let's go back. So I will just ensure that it's the sphere is at the middle. The cloth falls to the sphere and the sphere is at the middle. So I'll make a bit of adjustment to the side, push it. Okay, now let's play again and let's see. You can see it's perfectly working well. So it's still a low poly because it's not that high. So let's what we'll do, we'll just let's still increase the geometry, but just that it requires more of processing for your system. So that's why the more higher the geometry, the more power that your system need to process it. So let's just increase it more, and let's just subdivide it one more time. Subdivide now. Let's switch back to object mode and let's play. You can see. So now let's apply other property to it. Like if you are to increase the setup, if you, this back to the physics property under the cloth physics property, if you have to increase this quality steps, it will be more better, but it requires more power from your processor and from your machine, which might not it might be heavy for some person's machine. So but if I increase to 6 to 10 for example, you might not see the effect immediately, but it gets to let's go down. And there's something I want to also adjust, but is that's just aside. But already you have seen that it's working perfectly. The collision value of under the collision value, we have self collision. We can just tick it. Then let's go back and play and let's see. Okay, what we'll do now, let's smoothen the let's smoothen the plane. So let's play again. That's nice. So let's make the cloth thicker by applying the a solidifier to it. We're going to apply modifier to it, rather we're going to be applying solidify modifier to it to make it thicker. We're going to increase it to 0.05. I'm increasing to 0.05. Let me leave it at 0.05. Then the cloth is more thicker, and I guess that's all we'll be doing for this tutorial. So now let's just play back. Let's see how it looks now. We're just going to be adding colors to it. So that's all for now. It's just a beginner um level. Now let's switch to our viewport shading, and we are going to be adding colors. So let's go back to the beginning part, and now I'm going to be adding a color to the plane, to these cloths. So let's look at okay, this I'm adding a color to it, and I'll be adding a greenish color, so a bit yeah. Then reduce the brightness of the color, making it dark green in a way. Let's still adjust the base color. Okay, now for the sphere, we're just going to make it look more metallic and transparent in a way. So we're going to be adding another color to the sphere. So I'm going to be making this sphere look, I'm going to be keeping the base color as white, but the metallic value, I'm going to be increasing it. I'm increasing the metallic value to 1. I'm increasing the metallic value to 1. Now it's looking more shining, and the roughness, I'll be reducing the roughness a bit so you can see. So let's play it. So let's just bake this. Let me save. I'll save as cloth simulation. Let me save the Blender file. Then let's bake under this cloth, under the cloth physics. We see get to see bake there. Yeah. Um, not on under cloth physics property. Um, yeah, this cache. I want to click on the cache. Let's say we'll stop at the end time will be 200. Let me use this 200. Then 200. So let's click on bake. So now we are baking. Now, so thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Keep on watching and supporting the channel. Thank you.